Welcome back to Crypto's Key Conversation. We're going to jump straight in and listen to what JD said here today in his live video here.
There is an email that just went out, not an email, but a tweet that just went out by Steve Neroff. Okay. And I want you to read what it says. All right. Remember that piece of paper that Joe Lubin talked about? And he said, before the ETH ICO, I had a piece of paper in my pocket, right? Well, there it is. Look at the date, people. Guess who got that piece of paper in Joe Lubin's pocket? That's right, Steve Neroff. All right. So that's extremely significant. And I want you to just think about that for a minute. That's extremely significant. And so that's why I was excited about it. And, I apologize if other people.
So he's pretty much saying how significant it is, and we're gonna dive further into it here in a second. But he's pretty much saying people were saying that it was overhyped and they were expecting so much more, but not really realizing that there's actually some substance behind what's being studied so far in regards to Steve Narioff coming off. Obviously, JD hinting at him being legal representation, and they have attorney-client privilege and all these other things. So we're going to cover this. Digital asset investor, a piece of paper in Joe Lubin's pocket. JD and Stephen Narioff. After reading John's book, I'd hate to be the bad guy. He's looked into hell. I don't think he scares easy. So then coming over here, we're going to read into this right here. It says, the presentation at the SEC that gave Ethereum the free pass. Recognize anyone? We nailed it long ago, right? So obviously we got all the names here, all the people who were speaking. And then we come down here. Stephen Arrow says, on this day shall live in infamy. Wait until you see what else happened this day to silence me and cover up their sins. So remember, he was being pretty much, I forgot what the word is called, but we'll just say framed in a sense for the sake of this video. But yeah, he's been under, litigation for about like 4 years or something. So now obviously Stephen Arrow is coming out with a vengeance here. So he says, the day they try to silence me and cover up their sins, they're hiding more than the motives behind the speech. Dirty Hinman, hashtag Crypto Judas, hashtag Crooked Elbow Joe at SEC. So coming down here, Wild and Grim says, there's a lot of wait until's, bro. We've been waiting for years. If you have dirt, release it. And then Stephen Arrow says, after what they put us through, I share your frustrations. We were conspiracy theorists betrayed on their prisoners. Portrayed in their prisoners, me literally for 4 years. I have legal constraints on timing, but here you go. In pertinent part, Crypto Judas and Crooked Elbow Joe say I wasn't essential. I don't have receipts. And then coming down here, he points at it, and this is what JD had put up in his video. So it's from Joe Lubin on July 21st of 2014 to Stephen Arioff. And then they CC'd Fried, Bertrand, Vitalik Buterin, Jeffrey Alberts, Stephen Arioff. And this says from Joe Lubin, yes, brilliant work. Let's hope nobody ever sees it, with a smiley face. Let's hope nobody ever sees it. So people were really diving in on this, like, ooh, what's this about? And then continuing on, Stephen R. says, yes, thank you, Bert and Jeff. Great job all the way around. Thank you, Bert. We're putting the opinion letter on letterhead to forward to you. So then he added this quote down here. Says, I fear all we have done is awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve. Then he says, this is the letter from Crooked Elbow Joe's pocket he has been bragging about for years. Oh boy. Hashtag ETH from Tim. So yeah, things are going to be quite interesting. Obviously, he says under time constraints. He says, I have legal constraints on timing, but here you go. So I guess as time goes on, he's going to be able to express more and release more, kind of like what JD was saying. So it's just going to be a waiting game to kind of see what happens. Obviously, we know we were on the right track. I mean, we were over the target. It's interesting. DAI says, when I was growing up, the media would be beating down the doors of Stephen Arioff to get the scoop when they smelled a story like hashtag ETHGate. Now their media bosses tell them to stand down. You're not allowed to cover that story. How is this different from the Soviet Union? And then he continues on. And Stephen Arioff says, don't worry, they can't stop the stampede of the story. The media darlings will feel what it's like to be on the other side. Just be patient. Oh boy, man. Heat's real. I'm curious to see, how things unfold here. Crypto Eddie's asking a question too. Interesting question. He says, "Hello, Stephen Aroff. Is the Fry and Bertrand with a comma between the names the single person Bertrand C. Fry, who works for Jeffrey Albert, still at Prior Cashman LLP? Due to comma between, I just wanted to be 100% sure." So let me refresh this and see if she got a response. Let me see. Oops. Uh, not that I see yet. So we'll kind of see if Crypto Eddie gets a response from Stephen Aroff there. Eleanor Trade I posted. It says tomorrow 10 a.m. EST. Gary Ginsler will appear before the Financial Banking Committee. It says, I'm told members will cover a host of topics, including Friday's potential government shutdown and how it might affect the SEC, how the agency deals with, and so on. And then Ashley Prosper says, it's time to roast this marshmallow questions. Why was the case against Ripple brought? Let me put my glasses on. She says, why was the case against Ripple brought? Were there any outside influence from parties like J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Simpson Thacher, Consensus, EEA, Sullivan and Cromwell, or the CCP? So keep in mind of this J.P. Morgan because we're going to cover something interesting. It says, how many purchasers were at ETH's ICO? Do you know who the disguised wolves are? Why did you give a special broker's license to Prometheum? Who did you speak with before that? Where is your calendar? The questions and many more require answers, and if you don't get them, subpoena them. Yeah, and then adding all of our congressmen. I mean, come on, man. Obviously that he would be, beating around the bush. We at the SEC, he would say all those different things that kind of just skirt around answering the question. But speaking of, we're going to continue because I want to get to that J.P. Morgan stuff. Look at this. Look at Jed McCaleb right there. DAI says, rare sighting of the Ripple founder who can sell XRP at will with no repercussions. Right, but Brad and Chris Larson are still under the coals there. It's kind of crazy, or I guess you say over the coals. DAI says, sitting here reading John Deaton's book, getting pissed off all over again, reading the chapter of Decentralized Justice about the weaponization of the SEC by Jay Clayton against Ripple. Patrick Bet David, you have got to read this and have John Deaton back on to update you. He now has a whistleblower, Stephen Aroff, to validate everything. Everyone, please retweet. Yep, I guess I could have did that, huh? Let me see. At Patrick Beck David. Let me go ahead and do my part, Where is it at? Where's Patrick? Is it up here? Patrick Mahomes? There it is. Oh, the PBD. Okay, yeah. Yeah, we need him on there. I remember that one. Okay. That's when JD was showing the documents of all the, the redacted information, like the whole page was redacted. So yeah, I'd be sick if he can get back on there. JD's responding to Genie 1776, which he says, well, look here, Politico busted Shifty. So there's been an investigation. Politico has busted Representative Adam Schiff steering millions in tax dollars to for proper defense contractors. JD says most of them sitting in Congress are corrupt. The fact that there hasn't been an investigation into him and by now proves the point. His own government emails prove conclusively that he violated 18 U.S.C. 208, yet no one congressman is willing to send a letter inquiring about the IG referral for Empower oversight, only because they don't want to lose any donations. Tragic, man. Yeah, we've been hearing a lot of talk, and there's been letters, man. It's time to take action, and we're gonna see, man, as the days and weeks, come. I don't think any of us are really holding our breath in that regard. We're just going to fight the fight, from our end and what we can do. But yeah, I can agree with what JD says here. I mean, it's been evident. So speaking of JP Morgan, you got this Chase. Our policy around crypto is changing. So quickly, they said, we've made this decision because fraudsters are increasingly using crypto assets to steal large sums of money from people. Declining the payments is one of the ways we're helping keep you and your money safe. So from 16th of October 2023, if we think you are making a payment related to crypto assets, we'll decline it. So Moon Lambo says, Chase is literally stating they don't want your business if you want to do a crypto transaction. They even tell you to use one of their competitors. Whoa. At least they're not beating around the bush, I guess. Read the full statement below. crazy thing is, then you have this. J.P. Morgan says it'll pay $75 million to settle a lawsuit by the U.S. Virgin Islands alleging that the bank facilitated and benefited from blank. I don't know if we can say that, of young people by its longtime customer. So JD says, but they want to block payments involving crypto out of concern of fraud. Give me an effing break. This is the world we live in, people. It's crazy, man. And then Brian Armstrong responded here too. Says totally inappropriate behavior from Chase UK. This is their UK bank only, is my understanding. So he's pretty much saying UK crypto holders should close their Chase accounts if this is how they're going to be treated. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This is crazy. Why would you do that? I mean, you're literally blocking yourself off from, a lot of capital and money on your own as a company, right? As a bank, but like, you're gonna steer people away, just like the SEC is driving innovation in the crypto space outside of the U.S. They're gonna be driving customers away. Kind of crazy, man. Pentoshi put this up. I just wanted to put this on here. I'm not gonna play the video. There's been a lot of people covering it. Obviously, Ben Armstrong, or Ben Armstrong is. I was gonna say big boy, but he don't like being called that anymore because he's got a lot of stuff going on. But Ben Armstrong is going through a lot. Everyone's speculating based off of the evidence that's out there. Quite honestly, I hope everyone is cool. I hope he figures things out and things get resolved in a just way. But I wanted to put this on here because people have been kind of putting up some good points as to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Not to say he's having any mental breakdowns or anything. I'm just saying, like, people have been kind of bringing that up, and it kind of made me go, man, I kind of want to touch that, because if you don't take care of your mental, man, everything that we're doing, investing, making content, trying to change the financial course of our lives, it's merely interesting. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there, just kind of my own little personal opinion. I think it's important, and that's something that I'm continuing to work on as well, because it's important, and that's through fitness, nutrition, counseling, just talking, having loved ones around you, having outlets. You got to utilize all those things, man. We're currently sitting at a $1.08 trillion market cap, currently sitting at 26,229. Ethereum sitting at 1593. XRP sitting at 50 cents still. And the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index sitting at 44. I'm glad I was able to put out a video. Been busy, going to be busy till at least through October. With meetings and obviously, doing the teaching thing, kids and everything. So I'm going to try to be, like I said, as consistent at putting at least at a very minimum 2 videos out a week. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I can do more though. But make sure you come to the Crypto's Key Conversation YouTube channel, subscribe, follow us on x.com at Crypto's Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.